Hey folks, it's Ben. I'm here with another neat little thing I found. This was for sale on a bidding site on Facebook, and it ended up going, I went up to 30 bucks for it. It's a Tecumseh generator. It says it's a Fairbanks Ward, USA. Doing a little research on it, especially before I purchased it. The Tecumseh engine's easy enough to explain. It's what it is. The generator itself, it's like a Wilco or Daveco or something like that. It's unique because it has the plug is just right here in the generator. And that's it. That's all there is to this generator here. It's just this round part, and there's a ground clamp right here. The Tecumseh motor itself is fairly self-explanatory. The ones that I saw online were red. And this one shows that. It looks to be very low hours. There's no indicator saying how many hours there were, but the exhaust is great shape. It has the original plug based on the paint, and that's not to say it wasn't painted. There's a lot of yellow undertone, and like even on the starter, but that could be primer and then painted red from the factory, because everything is painted red, everything. It is 4,000 watts of awesome power. It's two outlets here that are 120 and one that is 240, so it's can run the bigger stuff that you have here. It is a recoil start only. I haven't actually, more primer there. I haven't actually done a thing to it yet, outside of moving it around a little bit. Haven't pulled or see if it'll even turn over. To kill it, I guess you press the button there, that kills the starter. Coming around to the back side that you see here, just the vent. Obviously there's a fan on the generator. It doesn't actually say what it is for a generator, just that it's a 4PTH-3M/J10, 4,000 watts, one phase, 120 to 40, 60 hertz, 33 amps, depending on the voltage, 16.6, and it's 3,600 RPM, of course. And it wants to run, or it can run up to 40 degrees centigrade. So, and the serial number. So that's what you have on the generator side of it. On this other side, really clean. I mean, this thing is super clean. It's got a fuel shut-off, obviously, in the tank, and that's about it. It sits on rubber feet that we have here, so it's wiggly. Easy to get to oil drain, which we'll get to if it does start and run. And then there's the nose again. So fairly awesome unit there. I've talked for 2.5 minutes, so we can probably move along here. I'll add it to my collection of generators. If I could get them all going between my Furman and the Onan I have over there, a Briggs & Stratton unit, and this one, I'd have over 1 kilowatt of power. So it's a nice addition here, and it looks really clean. So let's get on with the getting on, and let's start with checking the oil. These are just, I could just edit these together, it's super easy. But. Okay, so we'll start wiping this. This is obviously, I'm hoping where the oil is for the motor. The generator, I've heard, doing a little digging, that they will outlast the motor ×2. So that means there's probably fairly little use on it. I just don't want to drop anything into the oil while I check it. It is a little grungy here. And I don't know if it's from the motor itself or if it's just from being stored somewhere. Says it's full. It's not that gross looking, so that's awesome. It's safe enough for me to crank it over anyway. Part 2, let's see if it's got compression. Okay, so the carburetor here is pretty simple as well. Here's the throttle mechanism, which is pretty free, and a choke, which is I did move it from choke to unchoked. Let's go ahead and see if it's got compression. Yeah, it does. Sounds pretty good. Let's check the air intake, make sure it has something in it. Ooh, I'm already smelling the old gas smell. It's a regular air filter. That's that. The choke is what it is, but we might as well leave this off for now, because we're probably going to squirt something in there. I guess what we'll do now is, I don't know if it's in frame or not. Oh, it totally is. Let's see what she's got for gas. That smells awful. That all smells awful. So it does have some gas in it. So let me get that out of here and we'll put in some fresh gas. Everybody sit down because I'm almost doing it by the book. We have a valve that's conveniently located here. So I'm going to go ahead and squish this clamp out of here. There's paint everywhere on this thing. Wiggle it back and forth. Let it apparently drip a little bit. We're in the little studio I have here, so it's really nice to keep things clean. And I'll wiggle it back and forth until I can get this. The rubber's broken. I just need to get it off the bitey part and hopefully not break anything. So there goes some old gas from the motor. It's very yellow. Then I'll turn my little valve on and we'll get the rest of that really crappy stuff out. And then of course we'll do it with our standard seafoam mixture just to keep things on the up and up. Cool, so that's dripped a bit. Let me take a little bit of my seafoam ×2 and put a little bit in right now. See if I can get that to do exactly that, which essentially flush out the bad with a little bit of good. I'm not going to be able to drain the line go into it too bad, but it looks like we got most of it there. So what I'll do next is plug it all up, put some gas in it, meet you on the other side. So at this point in the video, I've checked the oil, and I have some, and it looks fairly okay. I put new gas in it after draining some of the old out. So what I have left is some old gas in the bowl, which may have varnished. There could be water in the bowl, not knowing its history. But that's about it. So in theory, if there's spark and a couple gut-wrenching pulls, we should get something out of it. So that's what we'll do. After I get tired of pulling on the stupid thing and we don't get any spark or anything along those lines, then I'll shoot a little gas down the carburetor and see if I can get at least a couple sparks of life. If that's the case, then we know it's a fuel starvation issue, which we can then obviously address by cleaning the carburetor. If it does run, I can't use the engine suction to pull gas hard because the mount here for the air filter, but we'll just keep her going until we can try to get her running on her own. Like most engines that I work on, the exhaust is pointed right at me, of course, when I'm trying to start it, so if there's flames, you'll enjoy them. So let's go ahead and I'm going to put my hearing protection on. I'm hopeful. Just, you never know. Maybe it'll run. It should rip right up to 3,500 RPM or 3,600 RPM, and then we'll hold on. So let's see how it goes. Okay, I'm pooped. Let's get the squirt gun out. And the carburetor is wet. That's a good sign. Gas is getting here. Not a good sign we're getting spark yet though. So let's try a little gas down there, see what happens. As I filled up my little squirt bottle, we're actually starting to get gas coming out of the carburetor. So I told you it was wet, but that's not a good sign. That means the float's not turning off. But in hindsight, it's also letting cleaner go through, so we're getting good gas into it. But that won't stop us. Let's give a shot or two. There we go. See how that goes. No choke when you're squirting gas in it. Should be all right. So squirt bottle sucks. There we go. Lots of gas in there now. Nice. So, does want to run. I don't love Tecumseh motors. Let's go with that. If they run great. If they don't run, it's fun. Hopefully we'll another kick out of her here. Next time I got to kick the choke on, see if I can pull some gas out. That's a little too much. Well, that was spectacular. I thought it would run, and sure enough it does. There's the carburetor adjustment issue. Had to run with the choke on. I'm not going to blame it. It's got some really crap gas in it. So a lot of the little orifice in the carburetor are probably slightly plugged up. The super seafoam will help. If I add some more seafoam and run it some more, that's going to help dissolve the varnishes. I might not even have to take this thing apart, which is where I like to be with Tecumseh, because I don't have a lot of luck with them. They're kind of a finicky motor to go with. But it is running a generator. It does run the heater. Heater is 1500 watts. It's supposedly 4000, so things are working in the generator, so that's fantastic, and the motor's running too. So I think we've got a lot of potential for this guy. So what would be next up for me, and for the videos that are coming up in the future here, of course, is we will change the oil, because that seems like a worthy project to do, and we will put some more fuel cleaner through it. I'm going to turn the gas off at this point, just because I noticed it was leaking before we actually ran it, and if there's not a constant draw of fuel out of it, it might just overflow. So if the float's not working correctly, and investigate getting maybe even a kit for it. But let's let the cleaner do its job. So we got seafoam in there now. We'll run it some more, and we'll see you next time with another generator video. I'm not very good at following up on these, but this one's pretty good, and I do need the power capacity. I do have my Furman generator, which is the most awesome generator I've had, But that being said, it's always nice to have a backup, and it's also nice to have additional power somewhere else. So awesome. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Leave any questions or comments down below, and be sure to subscribe to my channel for awesome updates on what I'm doing. Please check out the next video I've got lined up for you, and also check out my Patreon page if you want to support what we're doing here. And finally, check out my other less tractory page, Red Barn Homestead. You can subscribe to that too, see some awesome stuff. And we'll see you next time.